Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Good hello, everyone. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, guys, where I am anyway, this evening, should I say. Hope you're all doing well, guys. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash a like on the video, all that lovely stuff, please, guys. And let's get it cracking, guys. Now, the Andre Onana, let's start with the Andre Onana news, of course, breaking that Andre Onana is very close. It is imminent. A deal to Trabzonspor in Turkey. And as people know, I was the first person to break it, to be honest with you. Don't want to toot my own horn, but yeah, I was actually the first person to do it, guys. I mean, at the end of the day, there you go, guys. There's a little screenshot of it. Onana to Trabzonspor on Thursday, guys. That is what it was, guys. No, the screen has not frozen. That was it. Onana to Trabzonspor on Thursday. That is what happened, guys. Yes, and yeah, guys, I don't need the Ben Jacobs, the Crooks, all these guys. You know what? I do my thing, and that's about it. I mean, that Onana deal to Trabzonspor, you know what? You know, it's nothing you just pluck out the air, is it? At the end of the day, it is a weird kind of deal, to be honest with you. But I'm glad to see the back of Andre Onana, to be honest with you. I'm glad that we're moving on. And this is going to be the vibe in the coming months. Manchester United will be looking to offload more players, of course. Guys, this is getting a little bit, because it reminds me of when Ruben Amorim took charge of Sporting Lisbon and he removed 20 players. I actually believe this is going to be something similar. Not in the same speed and not the same duration, but I do believe that this is going to be a quick turnover in regards to 1 year for Man United standards. News circulating that Harry Maguire is another player that Manchester United are looking to offload. Not yet, but it could possibly be in January or in the summer. Now, I'm betting the summer. Of course, Man United have a small squad, in particular in the defense, considering we lost Lindelof and we lost Johnny Evans. So it does look like Harry Maguire could be the next out of town, guys. And he could be going to Saudi Arabia, guys. Like, you know what? Good for him. If he goes there, he deserves it. Get a big payoff. Fantastic for him. Harry Maguire is the next one. And then obviously Bruno Fernandes is going to be out the door most likely next summer, of course. And who's going to replace those players? That is the key question here, isn't it? It does look likely that Baleba will still be a target next summer. Of course, we all know about Baleba and Baleba's links to Manchester United. I think that's pretty clear that Man United are big admirers of Mr. Baleba, and I think that would be absolutely great move for Manchester United. And it looks like Man United might be getting some out to bring some in. And a complete turnaround. It hasn't been quick enough. I know it's not been quick enough. We haven't got rid of all the players, but there was an astronomical amount of work to do. We have to be a little bit fair here. There was an astronomical amount of work to do in regards to not only the players coming in, but the players coming out. I would prefer players to come in, but anyway, hey-ho, this is how we do things. The Turkish deadline closes on the 12th of September. So it looks like that Trabzonspor want to do a deal within 24 hours. So we can get a here we go very, very soon, guys. It's imminent. It is imminent, guys. It could be whilst I'm online. Who knows? But Andre Onana leaving the football club is what needs to happen for his career, for Manchester United as well. We can't keep 4 goalkeepers anyway. We can't keep 4 goalkeepers. One of them had to leave. Seny Lamens is the future of Manchester United. I've said it numerous amounts of times. He is the future of Manchester United. He's the one that's going to bring Man United forward. He's the one who's going to be between the sticks for hopefully many years to come. We might have our Schmeichel back, guys. We might have a Schmeichel-esque kind of son. I don't want to put too much pressure on the lad, but it could be that, guys. It could be that at the end of the day. Now, a mass clear-out is happening. A mass clear-out will happen as well over January, over the summer. There will be more players leaving. I know which players need to leave. We all know which players need to leave that have overstayed their welcome. Some of them have been here since the Louis van Gaal days. Do you know what I mean? And that is just getting ridiculous now, to be honest with you. Luke Shaw, obviously should be leaving the club, to be honest with you. He should be one of the next ones out. I would much rather keep Harry Maguire than Luke Shaw, if you know what I mean, because at least Harry Maguire is always fit and available for Manchester United, of course, guys. But if he's got an opportunity to go to Saudi, big payday for Mr. Harry Maguire. Good for him. I'm not gonna criticize him for that, because at the end of the day, he deserves it. He's a model professional and always giving his best, and never moaned to the media, never moaned when he got the captaincy taken away from him. So at the end of the day, what I would say is that best of luck to him. If it does happen, of course, guys, yeah, it is a shock Exodus, and Harry Maguire would be a shock sell, of course. But Man United are looking to the future. They're looking to revamp that squad, paint that squad a little bit more of a more youthful kind of look, of course, guys. And that's what Man United are after, a more youthful team, a much more athletic, quick, with speed kind of team. The kind of team that Ruben Amorim wants is this kind of athletic, young, quick, versatile kind of team that very good on the press, of course. And Man United have got a few players in this squad who are just not suited for the style. They're great professionals. Some of them are great professionals, but they're just not suited to this style of football of Ruben Amorim, and they can't adjust to it because it's too nippy. It's too athletic. You need to be a little bit more athletic and things like that, of course, guys. But yeah, look. Great news coming out. Andre Onana to Trabzonspor. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Man United will be getting a fee for Onana. It will be a straight, plain, boring old loan. It won't be an obligation. It will just basically be a loan, and that's it. That's where the buck stops, the end dot. Sad as it is, considering how much we purchased Onana for only a couple of years ago, guys. Let's not forget that. And he's going on loan to Trabzonspor. What a bad deal that was for Man United. One in many, many, many deals that we've done over the years that have just completely gone upside down, to be honest with you guys. And look, all I can say is that I wish Onana the best. I hope he performs well. It will keep his valuation high, and that's what we want. We want an Onana that has a high valuation. Of course, we don't want his valuation to decrease at all because we need the money, of course, guys, don't we? At the end of the day, so yep. Onana to Trabzonspor is imminent, guys. He has agreed, as I said this morning, he has agreed to go to Trabzonspor. He's enticed by the project, and he would like to go there. It's in his own interest to go there, given the World Cup is coming up as well, Cameroon and all that lovely stuff, of course, guys. So, yeah, that's good news coming out the airways. Onana to Trabzonspor, imminent, very imminent, and we're waiting for the here we go, guys. Let's say hello to some of our guests today, of course, guys. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone is blessed today. Big up George Best 007. Hope you're doing well. Let's hope they both go. Big up George Best. There we go. Good afternoon, Sal. And the problem is, can we replace them? Absolutely. Hope we can. That's the key. Daryl, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Anana has left the building. I told you, Daryl, guys, nothing gets past me. On Thursday, I was talking about Onana going to Trabzonspor. People go, where did you get this news from, Sal? Where did you get this news from? Don't worry about it. Trabzonspor, on Thursday, I was talking about that deal. And lo and behold, here we are with all the big journalists talking about it today. And it is literally imminent, guys. He will be going to Trabzonspor, barring something miraculous. Oh, he wants to just dig his heels in. Of course. Big up, Bobby. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. Good to see you, my friend. Peace and blessings. Big up, RJ. Hope you're good. Big up, Danny B. I hope you're good. I hope you're doing well. Good to see everyone in the Chatterbox stream, of course. He's already agreed, Sal. Has he agreed, Sal? Already agreed? Yeah, look, Daryl. I told you guys this morning, it's already been agreed. It's been agreed. This deal is going to be done. Obviously, there are the finer details to be said in regards to a couple of ironing out in regards to the contract that is going to be given. Man United and Trabzonspor are going to work out a percentage of the wages. It's not going to be full pay for Mr. Onana from Trabzonspor. Man United are going to still paying the majority of his wages. Some say Man United will be paying up to 70% of his wages. Trabzonspor might be going up to only about 20% of his wages, 30% of his wages, But it is what it is. We have to get rid of these players. We can't keep these players around. If they're going to stay around, it's going to be a little bit toxic, isn't it, at the end of the day? Won't be surprised with City crushing players for that derby too. Absolutely. Big up, my friend. Danny B. Martha Cole is on fire for Valles Sarsfield in Argentina. We talked about him a few months ago back, so we should be keeping an eye on definitely for the future. Big up, Danny B. Thank you for the heads up. Yes, we did. And me and Danny B have spoken about a few players over the last few months. And look, Man United need to keep their ear to the ground in regards to certain players. Obviously, Mastantuono, who we're also talking about, is that Real Madrid at the moment, another great player, going to be a star. That player absolutely already in the Real Madrid lineup, and we should be looking at these players already scoring goals. Someone scoring goals, you hit goals. That's it. We should be after that. Absolutely, we should be all over that. Big up, Ellen. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, of course. Big up, Stephen. Street parties in Manchester that Onana is going. Look, you know what? Yeah. It should have been happening a long time ago. Look, I thought it was pretty evident that we were going to get rid of a goalkeeper. Once we got Lamens through the door, we couldn't keep 4 goalkeepers, guys. And apart from Onana, all of the apart from Heaton, all of these goalkeepers are, you know, generally contestants for the first team spot, and we're going to keep all of them. Lamens is the future. I've said it numerous amounts, as I said it numerous amounts of times. Senny Lamens is the future. Senny Lamens will be the player going forward for Man United. Will he make his debut against Man City? That's up in the air. It might be later down the line. We might kick the ball up the road a little bit, and then obviously decide if we're going to play Lamens in the next games. I think more likely Lamens will come in against a team at Old Trafford, which will be a little bit less pressure for him. So good. Absolutely. Ten Hag screwed us with some bad players coming in. Also, some good players coming in as well. Obviously, he gave Mainu his debut. He also bought Licha Martinez, of course, guys. So, yeah, there's a couple of there. One thing I would say in defense of Erik Ten Hag is that nowadays we've got a conveyor belt of people doing the decisions. Obviously, we've got Pavel, we've got Wilcox, we've got Barada. Ten Hag didn't have that. And even though I don't think he's a very stubborn guy, I don't think he would have liked to have people in charge of him in regards to the transfers. This has to be mentioned as well, because he would have been overrode. He would have been, his opinion would have been overridden, basically, if that's the word. It would have been, debunked. And I said that in regards to Onana. Buying Onana for 50 million, selling De Gea for peanuts, basically, and basically getting De Gea for nothing, and getting Onana through the door was absolute bad business, and it was never going to be my first choice. Onana was never my first choice, and there were a few goalkeepers who were ahead of him, actually, when I was talking about the goalkeepers coming in. It was a bad signing, one of our worst signings that we've ever done. Not the worst, but one of the worst signings that we ever done. 59 in the building watching. Come on, guys, don't forget to smash that like, of course, guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget to smash the like. Guys, really appreciate it. Very good for the video. If you smash a like, guys, get up to 50 likes every show. We always aim at that 50 mark, and then we can progress from there and get it up to the 100 mark, like the previous video has done this morning. So fantastic, guys. Thank you so much for all your support. Of course, guys, absolutely. He also brought in good players. Absolutely. We have to give fair dues to where fair dues. Look, I'm not one of them people who just dwell on things. I don't like to think about the past. What happened is what happened. I like to think about the good things, what happened with Ten Hag in regards to winning the FA Cup against Manchester City, coming third in the league. It was decent, and winning a League Cup as well. Not too bad, is it? Not too shabby, considering the toxic mess that we were in at the end of the day. But he did make mistakes. I know that. And he did bring in players that, you know what, were not fit to wear the Manchester United shirt, of course. Absolutely. Stephen, RJ Ten Hag should be in jail for like 600. I mean, he did spend 616 million. Yeah, that is quite a lot of money, to be fair. If Ruben Amorim had half that amount of money, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Unfortunately, Ruben Amorim's only had a net spend of just about 200 million. That's all he's had so far, isn't it? At the football club, it's nowhere near enough. He should have had about 500, 600 million spent on him this summer, as we all know, like Liverpool have had. That's what we needed. But you know what? Next summer, we're going to be looking at a few more players leaving the football club. There will be a lot more players. Some of them are not going to be popular. Some of the players that will be leaving this football club won't be popular. Some of these players are fan favorites, guys, Player FC kind of players. So they will be leaving the football club next summer. So watch out for that, guys. Absolutely. Philip, how you doing? Longshore, I hope you're doing well. I want to keep Maguire. He's a perfect squad player and a leader for the young players. I agree, Philip, but Man United are thinking more long-term planning. Man United are looking to offload players on quite a lot of money in regards to like Harry Maguire. I like Harry Maguire. I think he's a good squad player. Is he good enough footballing wise? No, he's a little bit clumsy, a little bit of the way that Ruben Amorim wants to play. Harry Maguire is a contradiction to what that is. This is why Harry Maguire is being used as basically a striker sometimes, although if it was a league of attitude and personality, Maguire beats everyone. He's an absolute model professional, and he's the kind of guy that you would like to have youth players around. He'll become a coach. He will become a coach and a manager, no doubt about that. Harry Maguire will be a very good coach and manager. I'm predicting it right now. One day, we're going to look at things and think like that Harry Maguire, he's a good coach. He's going to be a good manager and stuff like that. Absolutely. Bob Glazer's out all day long. Big up, Scott. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see Scott in the house. Absolutely. My friend, Sal, is football running out the dinosaur managers? Goodness me. I mean, who's the dinosaur manager? Has anyone been sacked today? I don't know who's been sacked today. The dinosaur managers. My idea of a dinosaur manager, obviously, is who is it? Pulis is a dinosaur manager. Allardyce is a dinosaur manager, of course. Guys, a little bit of hypotheticals here. If you know what happened with Sam Allardyce in England. What do you think would have happened if Sam Allardyce remained England manager? That's a good first question at the end of the day. Big up Red Devil Radar. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Hope everything is blessed. Hello. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? Absolutely. Lionel Richie. Scott Sangerman, Mourinho, Ten Hag. Mourinho and Ten Hag, I mean, look, Mourinho, at least Mourinho has been there, done it, worn the T-shirt, bought the mug, everything you like. He's won everything. He's seen it. He's won it all. I have a lot of respect for Jose Mourinho. Guys, I get, with Jose Mourinho, I mean, I feel a little bit sad about that situation because I felt like when Alex Ferguson left Man United, I felt the best thing for Man United to do was to bring in a manager like Jose Mourinho, like an Ancelotti, someone of that ilk who would have demanded the respect of the dressing room. And we got, obviously, David Moyes. I mean, I think Mourinho came to Man United a little bit too late, in my humblest of opinion. Harry Maguire still has Haaland in his pocket. He might have to take Haaland out of his pocket and put Haaland back in his pocket next week. On Sunday, of course, next week. What do you think of the allegations of him trying to sign mainly players from SEG, his agency? Hoynett is definitely from the agency, and Cody Gakpo is as well SEG. We were linked to him. Now, this is where we get to the point of having an adjudicator of people who were in charge of transfers. This is what's very important. He didn't have that. So basically, if Eric Ten Hag was around when Wilcox, Barada, etc. were at the football club, he wouldn't have that power on transfers, and he shouldn't have had that power on transfers. No manager, apart from probably Sir Alex Ferguson, should have that power on players, because it should be a bunch of people deciding about transfers, not just one guy. It should be like, why are we signing this player? What's the reasons you're signing this player? What's he good at? What's his record? What's his personal life like? What's his hobbies? What's his diet like? And, and these kind of things. Does he like a nightlife? Things like that, of course, the questions should have been posed. The questions should have been asked. Unfortunately, as we heard when Ten Hag was in charge of Manchester United, I don't like to bang on too much about it. He's not a manager anymore. But one thing, when Ten Hag was in charge of Manchester United, it was well known that he was responsible for everything. So, I mean, there was that old quote, wasn't it? He's responsible for picking the team and fixing the leaking roof. You know what I mean? So, look, at the end of the day, it is what it is. It didn't work out, as with David Moyes, as with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as with Louis van Gaal, all these managers who deemed great, Jose Mourinho. It didn't work out, and I think it's best for us to move on, because if we dwell on the past, we're just going to stay there, ain't we? At the end of the day, guys, isn't it? We need to paint new chapters. Absolutely. Should he be in charge? Should he be in jail for an FA Cup as well, beating Man City in the final? I enjoyed that. Probably our most exciting time in the last few years. It was a great result, of course. Johnny, if the plan is to sell Bruno next summer and have a midfield of Baleba and Mainu, then they should have done more to make it happen this summer. They should have. I'm not going to deny that, and I'm not going to flip-flop from that, but we have what we have, Johnny, at the end of the day, and I can't be dwelling on it. As I said, we're just going to be painting, and we're going to be the history channel now, isn't it? We'll be talking about the past forever. If we're here, we made so many mistakes, Johnny, over the years, and Baleba should have been a Man United player. I mean, look, now we're hearing things, quotes about Baleba wanting to have a transfer list, wanting to move away from Brighton. Why wasn't that done in this summer? And this is what I always say. If Baleba really wanted to move to Manchester United, then he should have put in that transfer request. During this summer, I know he's not that kind of person. I know about Baleba. I know of Baleba, right? He's not that kind of person to be putting in transfer requests. He's a very grateful person, unlike some of the players in our football team at the moment. He's a very grateful person for what he is. And but I do believe that next season will be a different kettle of fish. He will be putting in those transfer requests, and he will be leaving Brighton. If he goes to Man United, that would be fantastic. Of course, we heard news about Baleba and Manchester United, this little meeting that they're going to have at the end of this month in regards to getting a verbal agreement sorted out and getting a proper solid connection with Man United and Baleba. And Baleba will obviously put his word in regards to Manchester United, and hopefully it will save time next summer in regards to signing him, because we would already have an agreement in place. In principle, Man United are trying to do deal behind the scenes in regards to Baleba, of course, without having to disrupt the relationship between Brighton and ourselves, of course. So Scott, does Jose come to the Premier League for lower level club, like said a year ago, to bring up? But I got a feeling, Scott, and this is what I'm hearing, but I got a feeling that Jose Mourinho will go to West Ham. I got a feeling West Ham. He's going to be the new West Ham. Obviously, there was talk about Frank Lampard going to West Ham. But if I was a West Ham manager, if I was a West Ham board member, I would be going after Jose Mourinho, definitely. I'd be going after Jose. Jose Mourinho did say that he wanted to go to a lower Premier League club, didn't he? Take the pressure away from him. Be careful what you wish for, of course. Big up, Roy. What's going on? The fact that Harry Maguire has almost outscored Højlund in recent times is crazy. Look, at the end of the day, what I would say, we have to look at things from a context point of view in regards to Rasmus Højlund. Now, don't be surprised Rasmus Højlund goes to Napoli and absolutely tears it up. Rasmus Højlund came at a very young age and was brought into a very toxic environment, which is Manchester United, and expected to score goals at Manchester United. And in his first season, he scored 16 goals. And was a top scorer in the Champions League. Now, the toxicity is very underrated in regards to Manchester United. The pressure is very underrated in regards to Man United. This is why I never paint the Man United manager or a Man United player with the same brush as, for example, a Tottenham player or another player from another team. I never do that because I understand that the pressures at Man United are not like any other football club, in my opinion, at the end of the day. He scored a lot of goals in his first season, he struggled in his second season, and that it wasn't all down to him. As we know, it was very rare that we would get the crosses into the box. It was very rare that we would get balls to him and put the ball on his feet. Of course, it's not just about getting the ball onto feet. It's also about making things happen yourself. Of course, let me tell you a story about Alex Ferguson when he signed Andy Cole. When Alex Ferguson was trying to sign Andy Cole, he was looking for someone who can make something out of nothing. Like that player who can navigate a goal by himself. And Andy Cole was that guy because Andy Cole could score from 35 yards in regards to a scissor kick, or he can chip the goalkeeper from 40 yards. That was Andy Cole. Or Andy Cole could be a fox in a box and score a goal from inside the box. And sometimes as a striker, you have to make things happen for yourself. If you're not getting a ball, you have to make things happen for yourself. And that was my only criticism with Rasmus Højlund. Now, the thing is, though, when you get criticism, when you get criticized, especially at a club like Man United, the pressure is on. And it feels like you're playing with a fridge on your back. And it is very difficult to turn that around and turn your fortunes around in regards to Rasmus Højlund. And I wish him all the luck in Napoli. I really do. It's a great city for him to play. It's going to be a good football club to him with McTominay, of course, guys. And he should do well there. I've got a feeling he's going to do very well at Napoli. Of course, guys, looking forward to seeing him play. Absolutely. Big up, Roy. Maguire is the new Schultz guy. Super sub that score in injury time. Big up, Ellen. Hope you're doing well. Schultz goes another level. In regards to Schultz, when we're talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we're talking about a guy who scored 4 goals and be on the bench the next game. That is what we're talking about. Great attitude. It's something that Manu can learn a lot from. Of course, absolutely. Benny, what's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Here I am. Agreed, Sal. Belabor in January and Wharton in the summer. Greedy Benny, as usual. He's on Ben Jerry ice cream, of course, guys. Now, look, in all seriousness, that would be an absolutely magnificent transfer window for Man United if they actually did that. If Man United signed Belabor and Wharton, that would be enough for me. That would be it. That would be enough for me. That'd be an absolutely brilliant partnership, as I've always said. But that's not going to happen in January, Benny. We know it's not going to happen, isn't it? We have to be honest with ourselves. If I had an inkling of that was going to happen, I would be right here telling you that we're going to sign Wharton and we're going to sign, a Belabor, a double signing, blah, 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 120 odd million. It's going to be more than that, to be fair. The weight, probably 150 million plus. If we're going to do that, it's never going to happen, is it, Benny? Man United will get one or the other. Unless Man United can offload a couple of players right there and get 100 million through the door. I don't think Man United will sign Wharton and Belabor, even though that would be an absolutely game-changing signing. I would say that if we manage to get those two through the door, it's a fantasy, yes, but it will be a championship challenge in midfield. I would say that right now. It will be a championship challenge in midfield. I would say that. I'm not even getting carried away. Ellen, I believe he really wanted Man United. That's why we are still in for him. Absolutely. He does. I've said it over the summer. I've said it for a long, long time that he wants Manchester United. The thing with Carlos Belabor, maybe his, I would say his attitude got the better of him in regards to his good attitude. And it's not a bad, he's got a good attitude, or he's got a good head on his shoulders. And he didn't want to disrespect the team that gave an opportunity in the Premier League, which was Brighton and Hove Albion. And what Man United should have done, I know I don't like looking into the past too much, what my History Channel again, But what we should have done is signed Baleba before he went to Brighton. And we were interested in Baleba at that time, and we should have got him, and we would have got him, to be honest, for far cheaper. Need to cut out that middleman, don't we, at the end of the day? And look, you know what? It's not over. Look, it might be better for us. However, we might get a cheaper price for Baleba. You never know. In the summer, I don't believe we will be doing a deal in January. Don't get your hopes up about January. Man United fiscal year. They're going to cut off this year. That's enough spending for this year. And they're going to 2p over that money to the next transfer window and the next fiscal year. That's what they're going to do in regards to that. Because anything that Man United spend right now is basically going to go in the books for this year. And it will affect the FFP and PSR, of course, guys. That is what will happen. Of course. Right, no offense to Manchester United fans. I need to be patient. They can't go from 15th to the season with transfers, David Moyes. You don't need to tell us that, Roy. You really don't need to tell us that. Man United know about the birds and the bees. We've been around the block. I've been a fan 40 years, mate. I've seen Man United, not win a trophy in 26 years, a Premier League trophy. So at the end of the day, no need to tell us that, Roy. You're speaking to experts here about Man United, mate. You're not no guru, mate. You're just me on this one. So yeah, don't worry about that. Concentrate on the team you support, my bro. RJ, we let me just get this up. We get Baleba. I hope we look at some Wolves midfielders too. Wolves, look, guys, what we have to understand is this, right? What we have to put into context is where are Wolves getting these players from? Where are Brighton getting these players from? Now, guys, people were talking a lot about Senny Lamens, right? They were talking about a lot how Senny Lamens is too young, he's this, he's that, he's not experienced, not Premier League experience. But when we speak about the likes of Verbruggen, or we speak about the young players that come to Brighton and become £100 million players, we're like, oh, why don't we do it like the Brighton way? Why don't we do it like this? You can't have everything both ways at the end of the day. Man United do need to find gems. They need to find them rather than going to the middleman. For example, Wolverhampton Wanderers going to the middleman and buying players from them for quadruple the price that they purchased them from, at least, So Man United need to find the next up and coming. Like Danny B said, we need to find the next up and coming player. And this is what we need to do. There are players all around the world. There's players that we're mentioning today. There's players I mentioned weeks and weeks ago. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and then they ended up going somewhere else, of course. And it doesn't seem like we got our heads screwed on at the end of the day. Ellen, I like that he is a professional. Can't stand the way your carers and Isaac behaved against their clubs. This is the way it is, Ellen. We have this generation of ungrateful little, grateful little brats, isn't it? Who are very obsessed about themselves and want to do things their own way. Look, I'm looking at Gui. Gui is the England international who plays for Crystal Palace, who nearly went to Liverpool. Has he moaned? Has he tweeted? Has he gone on a boycott? Remember that Crystal Palace pulled the deal out from underneath Liverpool's. There was a here we go. And Crystal Palace cancelled that deal. Has he moaned? No, he hasn't, because he's professional. At the end of the day, you're going to get players like that, Ellen. And, this is just the way it is. And this is why Man United over the years didn't sign some players that I felt, why aren't we signing that player? Why aren't we signing that player? Because exactly this, because they got this attitude. And Man United and Alex Ferguson back in the day didn't deal with attitudes like that. It was all about professionalism. And in regards to Amorim as well, this is what I like about Ruben Amorim. He's very focused on attitude and dedication to the football club. Of course. Mourinho back in the Prem, interesting, absolutely. Wolves have some decent midfielders in João Gomez and Andre. They do, and they scout very well. In particular, Portugal, by the way, they do scout very well. Got Cunha from them, didn't we? Although Cunha was highly rated before. He was at Atletico Madrid, wasn't he? Didn't quite work out for him there, but Cunha's a great buy as well. And we need to find a way to override the middleman, so to speak, in regards to Wolves and stuff like that. Of course, I hope Walton is not another injury prone. Look, this is something we have to look into, RJ, very seriously. Obviously, injury prone players. We don't want any more of those injury prone players. We've been there, seen it, done it, of course. So, look, he isn't that prone. I know he got a knock for England and he didn't play for England. We know that, of course. That's something that has to be evaluated. That's something that has to be looked into and basically investigated in regards to his injury, because we don't want any more expensive additions that have injury problems. We've got a Mason Mount at the end of the day, haven't we? Big up, Philip. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. So if United go for Baleba in January, Brighton will not lower their price, even though, look, can I be honest with you, Philip? And I'm going to say this as someone who does this for a living, mate, I would say that we're not going to get Baleba in January. I think we need to put that to bed. I think Manchester United will continue as they are with Bruno Fernandes, Ugarte, and obviously Mainu. They will continue with that. The only way I can foresee Manchester United getting a Baleba in January is if Man United sell a player in midfield. For example, let's give it for argument's sake, let's play devil's advocate here. For example, like Mainu falls out with Ruben Amorim or something. For argument's sake, I'm just giving you some scenarios here. And he wants to leave and he's putting a transfer request and Man United are desperate to sell him and, you know, they sell him and then they bring in Baleba, something like that. Otherwise, I don't think Man United we as fans shouldn't be getting our hopes up for January. We've been there and we've done it. We've seen it, haven't we, mate? You know, we've seen when we get our hopes up in January, generally nothing materializes. The Dorgu deal, which was done last January, as I spoke a year ago in regards to August last year, I spoke about Dorgu and I said that he's going to come in January. The deal was already agreed, guys. I already said it. If you scroll back a year ago, I said that. We don't generally do deals in January anymore. I know that we've signed some great players in January. Some of our legends are signed for Man United in January, of course, around that area of time in regards to Andy Cole and obviously Bruno Fernandes and stuff like that, of course. Absolutely good luck, Hoyland. I would always say that, of course. Good luck to him. He hasn't caused us any problems. Sal, do you think we need another goalkeeper if Bayanda leaves? Yes. I've obviously the news about Vitek, people are ignoring one vital thing here. Vitek and Amorim had a small little fracas, a small little, I wouldn't say a fallout, but they had a little bit of a back and forth. He wanted to be a first choice goalkeeper already. So Man United sent him on loan. So now, guys, it wasn't as serious as people think. That could be ironed out. Obviously, I admire Vitek because Vitek obviously wants to play. Of course he does, but he's not going to be playing for Manchester United anytime soon. Cedi Lamens is the guy that is going to be the next goalkeeper in there. Now, if that's the case, Man United need another goalkeeper. Obviously, Vitek is on loan at the moment. Bristol City's Player of the Month. Of course, guys, he is on loan at the moment. So we do need another goalkeeper in there, or we may have to bring one of the youth players in there, to be honest with you, to fill a gap. Of course, we got Heaton. We got two goalkeepers. If Bayanda does leave, but Bayanda's not going to leave this window. Definitely not. Bayanda will not leave this window. Is no point even talking about it. Predictable Glinios spin. Ellen, people didn't understand why Solskjaer stayed in Man United, but Solskjaer said to sit on the bench in the best club in the world was a privilege, and he would never leave as long as Sir Alex wanted him. Absolutely, Ellen. And what did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer become? He became a legend, didn't he? He became a legend. No one cares how many games he played. He was a legend, you know, and that is how you're supposed to approach football. That's how you're supposed to, that is the attitude that you're supposed to. Now, imagine this, right? You come on against Nottingham Forest. You score 4 goals in, 20 minutes? Something like that. And then you get on the bench the next game. Imagine how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer must have been feeling at that time. You know, every single player in his football squad has a part to play. And I'm not only talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, I'm talking about the likes of Henning Berg, David May, you know, Jonathan Greening, Michael Clegg, all these players who played for Man United during that time, Alex Ferguson, who played their part. Do you know what I mean? They played their part and were professional to the bitter end. You know, we also had Teddy Sheringham, a very capable England striker, of course, on the bench as well. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, in my opinion, is what we are missing in the game today. A player that doesn't moan, doesn't throw his rattles out of his pram when things don't go his way, basically prepares himself for getting on that pitch and proving the manager wrong, which Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did so many times, of course, guys. And without Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we would be no treble, as we know. A very, very big player in my life in regards to Man United, an absolute legend, guys. And I'll never forget what he did at the Nou Camp, which I was at the time, and I saw the goal. Ephraim, Sal, do you think Amorim will be ruthless in Bruno if he does not perform? Yeah, I do believe that. I don't think Bruno is as guaranteed a start. I know that he's been playing recently every single game, obviously, because Mainu comes on and he doesn't do well, and Mainu's playing like, you know, half-hearted kind of thing. The one thing that Ruben Amorim wants, and it's what Ruben Amorim wanted during the summer, is he wanted players that want to play for the football club, want to play for the badge, of course, and don't want to be moaning behind the scenes, because that little bit of doubt in a player's mind can contribute towards a lot in regards to your performances on the pitch. In the Premier League, you're dealing with very, very small margins, percentages here, small percentages. And if you are a little bit, 0.5% not on it, you're going to get found out in the Premier League, because that is how it is. And this is what Ruben Amorim is trying to install into the players, that if you're not 100%, you know what, then you know where the door is. And that includes Bruno Fernandes as well. If Bruno Fernandes does not perform, he will not be in that football team. You know, unfortunately for most of the players in our squad at the moment, they had a very good opportunity against Grimsby Town, guys. So that game right there, Grimsby Town, that was the game right there where all of these players, to a man, should have been right. 6-7-0, let's make a statement here. And they didn't. They didn't make that statement. Obviously, the goalkeeper played a huge part. I think that was Onana's last chance, by the way. I think that game right there was like, okay, Onana, you want to be the number one? Show me you're the number one. And he didn't perform. And I actually felt he did some sinister business in that game, in my opinion. We also need Semenyo. I think we've got enough attackers, to be honest with you, Old Trafford. I think we've obviously got Cunha, Mbeumo, Ahmad, Xerxes as well. I think there's enough there. Let's not forget about Ibrahimov as well. Very, very capable. Shia Lacey, another one coming through the ranks as well. We got our own players, absolutely. And I think Mbeumo and Cunha are better than Semenyo. We were interested in Semenyo. Of course, Semenyo was highly on Man United's list, and Man United actually agreed personal terms with Semenyo behind the scenes, but it just didn't materialize. Man United were going to sign him for about 50 million plus 5 million in incentives. Heard that one before, haven't we? Of course. United could have at least got deals like Lamine Camaras, Camaras, yeah, or whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, it's something that I've been saying for a long time. I heard Amorim had dinner with Semenyo. Not sure if that's true. I mean, no, I wouldn't go that far, mate. Absolutely not. I think Isaac had a bad attitude. Where did Amorim have dinner with Birmingham? Probably in America. They would have found out, definitely, because that's where we were. I think Isaac has a bad attitude. He does have a bad attitude, you know, and a lot of players in the past have had a bad attitude. Ibrahimovic has a bad attitude. Lots of players have had a bad attitude over the years. It's just the way it is. It's an ego thing, isn't it? These players, what we have to understand is that they've had smoke blown up their backside all their lives, and everyone has been telling them how great they are all their lives. So whenever they get something that they don't agree with, they get spoiled and they don't want it. I want to move there now. I want it now. You know, at the end of the day, it's happening more these days than in the past. We used to have a little bit of loyalty in the past. You think about Newcastle United back in the day when they had Faustino Asprilla, Alice Shearer, Les Ferdinand, these type of players. They were winning nothing, by the way. They won no trophies, by the way. None of them ever turned around and said, I wanted to go to Liverpool, I wanted to go to United and stuff like that. There was an element of loyalty there, of course, which has to be respected. Slices of Sib, how you doing? Good to see you again. Hope you're well. Are Bruno Maguire leaving this season? Not this season. Absolutely not. Slices of Sib. No. It does look like, however, they will be leaving in the summer. Bruno Fernandes is one up in the air. This could be Bruno Fernandes' last season at Manchester United, as if with Maguire as well. So play that by ear. You're going to hear that. And guys, remember we heard it first over here in Stretford Post, of course. We can come fifth with our current midfield to me. Let's wait and see. I did say top 5, RJ, to be fair. I did say top 5. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a silent assassin as a player as well. Yes, Kenny, you don't need to tell me, brother. I was around during that time, Kenny, unlike you, my friend. Sorry, Kay, but you missed a great time, Kenny. You missed a great time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the silent assassin, the baby-faced assassin, mate. Not the silent assassin. It was the baby-faced assassin. Get it right, brother. It was the baby-faced assassin. That is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was. He was silent, but he done his job. But he was known as the babyface assassin, not the silent assassin. But Bobby Flosser, has Kobe been given game time, and has he been given an opportunity to play alongside Cunha and Mbeumo in the right position? Last season, he's been playing in the right position. He played in the right position against Grimsby Town, which is a number 8. That is his right position. That is what he grew up playing. Is the number 8 position. That is the position he played for England in the European Championships. He actually played a 3-4-2-1 against Holland, in which England won 2-1 in the Euros semi-final. He actually played that position. So there's no excuses here. There's accountability here, and we look at last season. We're very dementia when it comes to last season. He wasn't good. He had one good game against Lyon, Now, I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve more opportunities, but he had a great opportunity against Minnows, against Grimsby, and got outrun, in my opinion. But I hope that he gets an opportunity against Manchester City. Big opportunity that. If you want to show yourself in any game, there you go. Manchester City, Etihad Stadium. Bruno can play that number 10. I mean, look, there is news about Cunha being fit, guys. There is news about Cunha's fine. Cunha's recovered. It wasn't serious. He might miss his opportunity on that one. But what can we do, guys? You have to wait, and like every single other, like we've been talking about on this channel, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, players of that ilk, Teddy Sheringham, players of that ilk who are better than Mainu, and winners, right? You need to bide your time and wait and be patient. We come from a generation now; it's a new generational thing where people just want everything now. I want it now. I don't want to wait for it. I want it now. I deserve it because I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. What do you deserve, mate? Have you challenged for a league title with Man United? At the end of the day, whatever people think is fair, I'll go with what the manager wants. Bruno Fernandes will be dropped. He will be if he doesn't perform well. I'm firmly behind that. And if he doesn't get dropped, then we can start saying, come on. But every time I see Mainu play, he slows down the game. When Mason Mount went off the other day against Burnley and Mainu came on, he slowed down the game. Man United were worse. And that's no detriment to him. It's the way he plays. He's a slow player. Maybe he should go to Italy. He might do well there. Big Kenny, big up, Brother Flossie, by the way. I will never forget that Grimsby Town game. Absolutely embarrassing. I've been there before, Kenny. I've seen Man United lose 3-0 to York City at Old Trafford. But that was obviously a weakened side. It was a youth team and stuff like that. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because there's a few players in that team that didn't turn up. I.e. Onana, of course, and a few players in that team that will let you down as usual, and they did. And that was sort of like the pinnacle of the ship, in regard of the building. It was just like, my goodness me, that is just the pinnacle. Losing to Grimsby Town on penalty. We shouldn't have went out anyway. We should have won anyway, whether we deserved to win or not. We shouldn't have went out, of course. And obviously they played an ineligible player, but what I would say is that it was embarrassing. Absolutely, it was embarrassing. Man United should never be losing to Grimsby Town, of course. Absolutely. Who my local team will beat easily. Guys, didn't sleep after that game. Kenny is one of them ones, isn't it? Sal, is Onana worse than Taibi? No. Taibi had 5 games for Manchester United. You can't paint that with the same brush. Taibi had 5 games for Man United, Massimo Taibi. And he made a couple of mistakes in his opening games, which was, at the end of the day, you can do that. You're signing for Man United, at the end of the day. I think he came from, was it Torino or something? Or was it Venezia or something like that? And look, when you're signing for a small Italian club and then you move to Manchester United, it's a completely different level. And you can't compare him to Onana because he didn't have enough time to prove himself. That was the whole story about Man United back in them days. Man United basically didn't there was no holds bars with Man United back then. It was no prisoners were taken. You flop a couple of games, you're out of the door, mate, and that's what it is. I personally think that Taibi's better than I do. I think he's better at crosses, of course, and saves. But obviously he made a couple of mistakes which drove him out. But I would like to see Massimo Taibi play over 50 games for Man United like Onana has, and then we can obviously judge him like that because five games is nowhere near enough. Absolutely. Big up Kenny, big up Ephraim. What is Turkey's? I'm not sure, but he's out for 3 months. That's all I know. Philip, long shot. Onana has agreed to move out on loan. Yes, as spoken about this morning and as spoke about on Thursday about Trabzonspor. He has. There's not been a here we go yet. But it will be coming very, very soon, of course. Let me just see the updates from Fabrizio and things like that, of course. Negotiation on Janada advancing well and fast as revealed yesterday. There's agreement club to club loan deal and confidence to get the green light from Onana. So we have to get the green light from Onana. Obviously, Ben Jacobs has been speaking as well. Andre Onana is close to joining Trabzonspor after giving the green light to leave in Manchester United. Talks ongoing today. To try and finalize the agreement. Trabzonspor want Onana to sign within the next 24 hours, guys. So, yeah, look, that deal does look like it's going through, isn't it? That deal does look like it's really, really close, of course, guys. So we're waiting for the here we go with that, of course, guys. I think Kobe wants the City game. I think he needs that City game. I really do. Smash the lights. Thank you so much, Ephraim. Legend, as usual. Mamba Bomba, what's going on? But how disadvantaged is it to playing alongside Ugarte? None. Did you see him for Ugarte? Did you see him for Uruguay? There's no disadvantage playing. That's coming from people who don't really watch ball much. The disadvantage is, and I'm going to tell you this is how I have to teach people about the birds and bees. I should be paid for this, to teaching people about football. All right, when Bruno Fernandes, right, plays alongside Ugarte, plays alongside Casemiro, plays alongside Mainu, when Bruno Fernandes plays alongside him, he's everywhere on the pitch. He's everywhere, right? He's everywhere on the pitch. This is why his statistics are so phenomenal, because he tries to do everything himself. Now, when Bruno Fernandes is in the right back position or the left back position or the goalkeeper position, and he's supposed to be in the midfield, he leaves the midfielder isolated on his own. And that gives a perfect opportunity for the likes of other teams to do 3 against 1, 2 against 1 on the other midfielder. So it's very difficult to play alongside Bruno Fernandes. We're looking at the wrong people, in my opinion, because obviously Ugarte had some of the best stats record in regards to when he was at PSG, and he has a great stats record at Uruguay as well, and played very well yesterday, as we know. So we need to look at things from above, and look at things from what it is, the reality, not just blame one player because it's fashionable to do so. Do you know what I mean? We have to look about why is Casemiro, is Mainu, is Ugarte not performing as they should. Do you know what I mean? And that's how we should look at it. Of course, probably will be, Kenny, probably will be. Let's wait and see. Even Grimsby was not full list. Yeah. It's a poor performance, Mumba Bomba, absolutely. But Mainu played in that game, didn't he? What are your thoughts on signing Dumfries? Nothing of it, because nothing's going to happen at the moment in regards to Dumfries and stuff like that. What are your thoughts on signing Dumfries or Livramento? Nothing, mate, at the moment. Dumfries should have been done a long time ago if Man United were going to sign him. Would have been a great signing for Man United, considering the right wing-back position. It would have been good, but I don't think Man United are going to go after that player. Obviously, in regards to age, we're looking for someone a little bit younger, of course. Sal, I hope we start Sesko for City to build his confidence. I hope so as well, my friend. Absolutely. I hope so as well. Absolutely. Everyone, guys, has to earn their place at Manchester United. Everyone. No one is guaranteed a place at this football club. You can't just be, I should be guaranteed because I played well in 2024 one game. It shouldn't be like that at the end of the day. You should be earning your place. Let's not forget that Ruben Amorim sees these players in training. Right? He sees these players in training, and he knows who's playing well, who's putting the effort in, who's dedicated. We can all see it on the pitch, guys. We can all see it on the pitch. We can see Cunha is putting in effort. We can see Mbeumo is putting in effort. We can see Sesko is putting in effort. We can see these players are putting in effort. Lenny Yoro, Aiden Heaven, De Ligt. These players are putting in effort. Some of them are putting in effort and they're still not good enough, i.e. Dalot and players like that, in my opinion. But you can see who's putting in effort and are not putting in effort, can't you, at the end of the day? And that's what I would say. So at the end of the day, everyone has to earn their spot at this football club. Every single person has to earn their spot. They have to earn their corn at this football club, of course, guys. And that's what it is. But guys, again, let me just confirm, as spoken about on Thursday's show, guys, before everyone else, Andre Onana is on the brink of signing for Trabzonspor in Turkey, guys. The loan is almost a done deal with Manchester United and Trabzonspor agreeing a deal for him. It's up to him. His personal details and stuff like that is down to Andre Onana, as it always been. Rumours is that the talks have gone well and the green light has been given, as I said this morning, in regards to Andre Onana going to Trabzonspor. Good news for Man United, getting another player out, of course. Too many goalkeepers on our books at the moment. Who would have thought? We got too many goalkeepers on our books. We need to get rid of one of them, of course, guys, don't we? We need to get one of them. And that guy looks like Andre Onana. Now, I wish Andre Onana all the best. Of course I do. I want him to do well so he doesn't come back to Man United. We've already got the risk of Marcus Rashford coming back to Man United, of course, as well, We've already got that risk as well. Let's not forget that. Do you know what I mean? So that looks likely to happen. I'm hearing that Barcelona are not happy with Rashford. That is what I'm hearing. No surprise. No shit, Sherlock. We could have told them that, it doesn't matter how much you believe in yourself. I personally feel that Rashford has regressed a lot and felt his performance yesterday for England was very good. I'm not going to take that away from him. I think he did okay. Not very good. I'll say he did okay. Was quite a threat on that side, but it's only Andorra, as we know, of course, guys. But we're going to have a backlog of players coming back next year. We're going to have to be prepared for that. Obviously, Sancho, Rashford, maybe Onana coming back to this football club. So we're going to have to wait and see, guys. Absolutely. Ciao, how you doing? Good to see you, mate. One thing annoying me is we didn't get a loan fees for Onana yet, and this is how bad he has actually been, isn't it, Ciao? How desperate we are to actually sell him. No one in their right mind would be paying money for Onana. Unfortunately, he's really got his price and his share has gone down significantly over the last year or so. Ciao, absolutely, he has, and you're only as good as your last season. And as I've always said, he's made up-teen amounts of mistakes, cost Man United 20-odd points at least, cost us the Europa League final against Tottenham. I mean, any competent goalkeeper would have saved that against Tottenham. And obviously, you know, what cost us a Champions League a year ago, didn't he? When he against Galatasaray, of all teams. Rashford should get a move to Italy. It wouldn't be a bad move. It's a good shout, RJ, to be honest. It wouldn't be a bad move for Marcus Rashford, if I'm being real. It's a slower league. He will get more time on the ball. Rashford these days does like a lot of time on the ball, I've noticed. Guys, he does. I think going to Barcelona was a little bit of too much of a step up for him. We could have predicted that. Of course, I did say before Rashford went to Barcelona, I did say that Rashford needs to lower his expectations a little bit and go down a little bit because he's going to go to Barcelona. And Barcelona are one of those teams who have got expectations all the way to Lamine Yamal and Pedri. Do you know what I mean? Sort of expectations. So you've got when he went to Barcelona, he's already got the pressure on his back. And I felt like going to a team a bit like what Anthony did. You know, a bit like what Anthony did. He went to Betis, you know, who love him, you know, and and that's what Rashford should have done and regenerate himself in England squad. How long we were staying in England squad? We'll have to answer to that, but definitely we'll have to wait. Ephraim, Sal, who is your favorite Italian player? Who's my favorite Italian player? Alessandro Del Piero. Ephraim is my favorite Italian player. Was my favorite Italian player, yes. I liked Alessandro Del Piero. Now, a little story about Del Piero. Del Piero, obviously, Juventus got relegated a few division because of fraud, as they do, of course, and match fixing. And he stayed at Juventus. And Man United tried to sign Del Piero when they got relegated. And he said, I can't let the old lady down. That's what he said, which is obviously Juventus' nickname, which is the old lady. Of course, but he stayed. Very loyal player, great player as well. There were a number of players in that Juventus side who I admired a lot. In regard to Inzaghi as well, Peruzzi and things like that. Obviously, I did admire. Gary, how you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything is blessed. It was Rashford's ego that he thought he was good enough for Barcelona. I hope he's learned his lesson. Look, you know what? Things can change for him, Gary. You know what? Anything can happen in football, isn't it? You know, at the end of the day, he might score a goal for Barcelona. It might trigger him to be better. But when you go to a team like Barcelona, you need the right attitude. The thing is, right, he has his family who are his agents, and this is a big problem for him, I think. I think they blow smoke up his backside every single day. And I think this is feeding into his ego as well. And not looking down a little bit. I mean, Barcelona's up there, isn't it? And it sort of was like embarrassing. It was a bit embarrassing for me, you know, even from the outside, looking at Rashford begging to go to Barcelona. It was a little bit embarrassing for me. I don't know about how you felt about that, but it was because it was a little bit obvious that Barcelona were not that interested, but they felt obliged to get Rashford, you know? And I felt like what Rashford should have done, he should have left these options open. It would have been better for him. Obviously, he wants to prove everyone wrong. I want to go to Barcelona, show you that I'm a Barcelona player. And obviously, there was that shot. There was the clip of him doing that shot from like 35 yards. And there was Lamine Yamal who was free. And obviously, the manager, Hansi Flick, was like this. He had his handsies in his face. Absolutely. There will be more pressure on Anthony now to perform, I think. I mean, maybe his honeymoon period is over. Who knows? I still think Anthony should have gone Saudi and joined Ronaldo. There you go. He's still young, though, isn't he? Do you think it's embarrassing for a winger to be heavily one-footed like Anthony? I think it's embarrassing for anyone to be crying in front of the public and around the world again. I mean, it's not the first time that Anthony has cried for no reason. Oh, poor me. I've got 200 grand a week. And you know what? I suffered at Man United. Guys, he needs to come into the real world. He needs to come into it. Let me play for Man United for 3 weeks only, guys, for a fraction of that wage. And I'll be happy with that. These guys they don't know about reality. Do you know what I mean? They don't know what reality is. I was told to train with the youth team. Oh, poor you. You're still collecting your 200 grand a week, though, isn't it? You're happy to collect that, isn't it? Ridiculous. And he played for Betis last season anyways. So, in the sunshine of Andalusia. Sal, do you have Sir Alex leading the book, and is it that good? Yeah, I have a Sir Alex book up here. Absolutely. Yeah, it is very good. Have a read, my friend. Absolutely. Always good to read Sir Alex books. Let me tell you that right now. Sal, do you think we can sell Shaw and Mount next year? I don't want to think about that, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm thinking about, Bruno and Maguire and Blair. I mean, obviously Luke Shaw needs to leave. Obviously Mason Mount, we're going to have to wait and see. Look, as we said, Mason Mount has done well this season. And let's be honest, guys, Mason Mount has done okay this season. And I'm going to hold my hands up. I'm going to say that, right? But the worry we always had with Mason Mount, of course, was the injury-prone thing he has. He has an injury problem. And here we are again. Mason Mount is injured again. We can't keep hold of these players. We're not a hospital at the end of the day, We're not Physiotherapist FC. We're Manchester United FC, and we need players who are going to be fit majority of the season. Was Anthony a bad signing? Absolutely yes. For the price, definitely. It was a £40 million signing we got for 90 million. Wouldn't say he's our worst signing ever. Absolutely not. Far from it. Chow. How many languages can you speak? 15. RJ, Mount and Cunha being back for City would be a big boost. It would be. I don't think Mason Mount's going to be fit. Cunha looks like he's going to be fit for the game. Definitely. He looks like he's going to be fit for the game. And that's good news. The only bad news I would bring into Cunha being back is that Mainu might have to miss out again. He's going to have to miss out again, guys, because Bruno's going to be back in that number 8 and Cunha obviously would be up front. I'm very confident in regards to this Man City game. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very confident about this game. I think Man United are going to win 2-1. I've got this feeling. Maybe I'm being overly giddy, overly zealous, but I do believe that Man United are going to win this game. I'm more confident against the likes of Man City than I am against the likes of Fulham and Brentford and teams like that, because I think that will show up in that game. It's a very, very big couple of weeks, guys. A very big month, I would say. We've got Liverpool away. We've got Man City away. We've got Chelsea at home. And obviously, we've got the teams like Brentford and Brighton as well, who we've notoriously struggled against over the years, of course. Let's hope we win, RJ. Absolutely, let's hope we win. That is what it's all about, of course. Rodri back is a boost. It's a massive boost. He's one of the best players. Obviously, Ballon d'Or winner, isn't he? Obviously, so... that's a shame that he's going to be back for that game. I would have liked him to miss that game. But to be the best, you got to be the best. As I said, to be the best, you got to beat the best, of course. I believe we can win as well, APN. Absolutely. I believe we can beat them. I think we beat them last season with a lesser squad. We beat them 2-1, of course. Guys, absolutely. They will miss KDB. They're going to miss Turkey as well. That's another player that they're missing, Turkey. But definitely, De Bruyne is a massive miss for Manchester City. I would say that. Absolutely, RJ. Sal, what is your take of Michael Owen saying I am better than Rooney? Look, let me be honest with you guys in regards to Michael Owen. Michael Owen is very full of himself. Okay, Michael Owen was one of the best up and coming players to come out of England in decades. Right, back in 1997, he broke through the squad and he at 17 years old scored goals and he ended up playing in the World Cup for England, of course, and the game that David Beckham got sent off famously, isn't it? And scored that wonderful goal where he went past the whole Argentinian team. And he was good then. He was very good. But then he got injured against Leeds United, I believe it was. And he was never quite the same player. And he has to admit that to himself. He had a decent career, but nowhere near the heights that he could have made it. I do think he's a little bit arrogant. He can't compare himself to Wayne Rooney, who was the top scorer in England's history. Now it's Harry Kane's beating it, but Rooney had more strings to his bow. But I'm not saying that Owen was rubbish, because Owen wasn't, because I'll be lying if I said Owen was rubbish. Owen was he was a gunman. And obviously scored against Brazil in that quarterfinal in the World Cup 2002. Always capable of a goal, but he is very, very full of himself, and he's ruined his legacy. And he seems like he wants to just take a shot at everyone. And I think Rooney's the wrong person he should be taking a shot at, because Rooney was better overall, in my opinion. Ellen Haaland got hit by a bus door and had to get 3 stitches on his chin. Maybe he will be out. I mean, his chin is big enough, and maybe it'll be swollen now. My goodness me. Hunchback of Notre Dame settings, of course, guys. Absolutely. Beauty and the Beast settings. Guys, absolutely. Definitely. Just needs to dye his hair blonde. Gaston settings and stuff like that. Absolutely. Gaston settings. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Really appreciate it. Please don't forget to keep your notifications on. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, guys. Guys, we're well on our way to 13,000 subscribers. Let's get to there. I want to get to 20,000 by Christmas. That is the aim, guys. Thank you, everyone, again. And we'll be back later on. Of course, if anything breaks in regards to Anana, that should be a Here We Go very soon. But also, I'll be back 100% tomorrow for Breaking Dawn, guys. So look out for that one. It's going to be a massive show. Have a great evening, night, morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox, and I'll see you soon, guys. Peace.